welcome to Rocco Networks, this workshop here in this awesome, very acoustically treated space here for our workshop. Thanks, but we can secure ourselves, setting up your own VPN with Algo. So yeah, we're going to talk about VPNs or very pretty nerds. That's me. Website, Twitter. VPNs, or ferocious panda necklaces. That's Sarah, wearing a really cool panda hoodie with a necklace on it. So we're all here for VPNs, right? Or very vaguely peculiar noses, like that cup with a cat.
Such a weird picture.
I know. It's like a paper cup. So I'm sure there's like thousands of these out there somewhere. But yeah, so pretty much we're gonna follow this format. We'll talk a little bit about VPN basics, like what are they, why would you use them, and then we're going to talk about why would you want to set up your own VPN rather than pay a service provider to provide your own VPN. Then we're going to do the live setup portion for Algo. I'm going to set one up right here, right in front of you, and everybody is welcome to follow along on their own computers as well and set it up. Let's see, so yeah, how many people are interested maybe in setting up live? Just raise your hand. Awesome, most of you, all right. So if you have your computers, connect to the Wi-Fi. It's on the wall right over there. We're going to need to buy hosting for this from DigitalOcean. If which requires a credit card and email. It's $5 a month for this hosting, but if you're just not really interested in paying $5 a month, and you just want to run through the thing with us, you can put your credit card in, you can buy the server, and you can delete it like right after this workshop or in a few days, and they'll only charge like a few cents, I think. They charge you hourly. So if you just want to get the experience of setting it up, just heads up there, DigitalOcean, maybe a few cents. So let's see. So I think we went over Windows. Is anybody else using Windows here, or is everybody on a Mac or a Linux machine? Cool. Has anybody here never used the command line before? Raise your hand. Terminal. If you have no terminal experience, that's totally fine. Almost all the instructions here are going to be hand coded here right in front of you, or we can copy and paste. Because I'm going to provide you all with a website with a resource to follow along, and we have lots of people that can help you out here too. Let's see here. So yeah. Also, the VPN that I set up here as a demo for all of you, you're all welcome to use this VPN. We're going to pass around a sheet of paper for anybody that's interested in using this VPN. I'm going to cover the costs myself, $5 a month, no big deal. And we'll go over like what sort of things you might want to think about when you're sharing a VPN with a room full of strangers like this. But hopefully, y'all aren't strangers anymore because you just introduce yourselves. But we'll talk about that. But you're all invited to use this VPN that I make, like, for whatever you want all the time. All right. And there's questions and answers that you can raise your hand, stop me at any time. I'm going too fast. Just let me know, and happy to answer your questions. So, all right. Some basics real quick. What's a VPN? A VPN is pretty much a tool that you use. It's a bit of software that makes a secure encrypted connection to the internet for you. It's really good at encrypting your web traffic and hiding it from your internet service provider. Especially, a lot of people want to use something like this, especially after the FCC deregulated cable companies like Spectrum and Verizon around here, and gave them almost unlimited power to collect your data and to sell it to people. So people use VPNs a lot to hide their traffic from their own internet service provider. You can also use it to encrypt and protect your traffic when you're in a public Wi-Fi. When using public Wi-Fi like this, or a coffee shop, or an airport, from people that are, packet sniffing. And big shout out here. The next workshop, if you want to check it out, done by Jen and Surya, they're going to teach you how to packet sniff. So after this, you should check that out if you want to learn how to sniff packets, which is exactly what VPNs are good at protecting you from. Probably the most popular thing though that reason people use VPNs is to change the IP address that websites see when you visit them. So if you want to access content that's only available in another country, like maybe your country doesn't allow you to see certain web content, or you want to catch a TV show that's only available in UK, you can connect to your VPN and you can see that content because the website will think you're from a different location. Does anybody here have any other things that they use VPNs for that they want to bring up?
I have a question.
Sure.
How is the encryption different from like using HTTPS?
HTTPS, I think it's mostly different to protocol. HTTPS is one way of encrypting things, and the encryption that VPNs use is another way of encrypting things. HTTPS doesn't hide like your browsing history, like which website you're going to from your ISP. Like your ISP can see that you're going to google.com or whatever. But even though it's like if you enter your username and password, it's hidden. They can still see where you're going. But with VPNs, your ISP, they really only see that you're connecting to one IP address every single time, no matter what website you visit to. So it hides where you're going, not just what you're doing.
Question.
Yeah.
So there was recently that, I forget what it's called now, the WVP2 was cracked. How does that relate to?
I haven't kept up on my news very well. I have no idea. Has anybody heard about this
Using
story?
a VPN would actually help with that. So it's a problem with the wireless, right? The WPA2. So connecting to the wireless network, they found a flaw in it in terms of like the encryption of it, and it's easy to basically hack into a Wi-Fi connection. And a VPN would protect you against that because it is encrypting traffic.
Wouldn't it not? Because the hacker could get to your requests before it even went to DigitalOcean or anything, because they're in between your computer and the router. So your traffic would never get to your VPN before you.
In fact,
I mean, honestly, like my understanding of it, it's not really my area of specialty, but my understanding of it from security folks that do work in that, they were saying that using a VPN would help you with that, but I would definitely look more into it if you were interested, because I'm not really sure.
You can log on the VPN for plain passport, exactly the plain text passport, and you cannot accept it.
Oh yeah. Because you're asking about crack, right? The WPA2 like vulnerability from this last week. Doesn't that just mean somebody can handcuff between your router and your computer itself?
As soon as you have like a secure encryption to your server established, it's like between your computer and your VPN server. So then it's the same public network.
Yeah. In fact, that's something that's one potential weakness of VPNs is that before you connect to it, you are vulnerable. And like if you're on your phone and you connect to the Wi-Fi network, your phone might send off a lot of data before you even connect to the VPN. So that's a potential point of vulnerability before you connect to the VPN. But I'm not sure too much about this crack right now. What do you think about this? Okay, so moving on. There's one big myth that I want to address about VPNs first is that VPNs do not make you anonymous. A lot of people think that they do. A lot of people have been arrested using VPNs for something that they think might have made them anonymous. But you should just bear in mind that when you're using a VPN, things like your browsing history, your search history, and your form data, which is stuff like your username that you enter into a website, or things that you buy on Amazon, all these things are still visible to the website you're using, even if you're using a VPN. So for example, like if you were logged into Google in your browser and you're using a VPN, and you search for something like why is my cat smelly? Then Google, even though you're using VPN, they know that your cat smells. So VPNs don't really keep you anonymous in this sense. Also, it should just be reminded that all IP addresses, including your VPN's IP address, just like a real address, has an owner. And there's public records on who owns every IP address out there. So if your IP address is doing something, law enforcement can just look up who owns this IP address. They go to your VPN provider. They ask, who's using this IP address, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So VPNs don't make you anonymous, but they are good for making sure that your connection is secure and encrypted from people that are using your local network, hackers, your ISP, changing your IP address. But don't use it for anything that wants to keep you anonymous. Also, reminder: some countries are cracking down on individual VPN use, especially because they don't want people circumventing their censorship. So if you're a citizen in some of these countries, you potentially could get arrested. Or even if you're a tourist in some of these countries, there's been some stories about people losing their cell service. Like here's a story from a travel blog of somebody that was using a VPN in China, and they lost all cell service until they went to the police department, and the police department had to look through their phone, delete like some VPN app they were using, maybe like ExpressVPN or something, and like then they gave them back their cell service. So just be careful about this too if you're traveling to any of these countries. All right, so why would you want to set up your own VPN rather than buy a service? Many services are really great. Sarah uses encrypt.me. It's a great service. Some reasons you might want to set up your own VPN. Some VPN companies, they're really kind of not cool. For example, here's a tweet. When Access Now released a feminist cyber security guide, one VPN called IPFend tweeted, "Our first guess is that they saw the words backdoor penetration and thought how misogynistic zero-day exploits are." That's kind of messed up. Another one here, like written into their terms of service, they have this language here, like we'll hire, if you use our VPN for anything bad, we'll hire a smoking Amazon with black framed lesbo glasses to represent us, and she won't be cheap. Unlike your mom, we had to, smiley face. So, do you really want to trust companies like this with your personal data, and if this is their attitude towards things? I know I wouldn't. But not all companies are like this, but this is just some really egregious examples of VPN companies. Another good reason is cost. Some VPNs cost $10 a month up to $10 per month. It's usually like $5 to $10 per month. I know Sarah, Encrypt.me for her is $3 a month, but there's like a cap on the bandwidth that she can use. Algo, the one we're setting up, is free, but we got to pay for hosting, as I mentioned earlier. And the hosting we're doing is DigitalOcean, which is $5 a month, but completely unlimited bandwidth. You can torrent and stream all the movies you want on this thing. And almost all the time, hosting is cheaper than paying for a VPN subscription. Does everybody here know what I mean when I say hosting, by the way? Does anybody want to explain hosting real quick?
Just have a question though. Is
Yeah.
hosting for a VPN on DigitalOcean significantly different from hosting any website?
From hosting any website?
Or just, yeah.
Different in what way? I mean, not really. It's usually,
Well, like if like I already paid for hosting for other things, right? Could I use those for VPNs?
so yeah, you can set up your VPN on existing hosts. You can have so hosting, for what I mean by hosting is that a host, when you're paying for hosting, you're buying access to like a dedicated computer, a remote computer. I mean, really it's a cloud computer, but I think of it as a computer. You're paying for access to this one dedicated computer somewhere, and you're using this computer. This computer has its own IP address, and we're going to set up the VPN on this remote computer, and that's how we have our VPN. But this host, you can set up a VPN on it. You can have other websites on it too. Absolutely. Like I have one that's VPN and hosting my website and all that stuff on it. So cost. So potentially cost, one good thing. But I think the best reason for having your own VPN is that it's really hard to trust sometimes the other people that use your VPN services IP address. Because when you're using a VPN service, you're sharing the same IP addresses with potentially thousands and thousands of other people that you don't even know. Sometimes, as I'll show you later, sometimes these people are criminals and they delete, and they could potentially cause you some trouble, because if you share an IP address, if somebody does something that law enforcement takes interest in, they'll get a warrant and they'll go approach the VPN company and they'll ask the VPN company for all of the real IP addresses of who connected to this one IP address, this one VPN IP address. And potentially your own IP addresses, your own browsing history can be exposed in the middle of this investigation if you're sharing this IP address with somebody that's being investigated. So So setting up your own VPN means that only you use this IP address. You're the only one that has access to this IP address. Or maybe if you're sharing with people, it's only a small group of people that you trust having this. So you don't have to worry about other people sharing, all thousands of people using the same IP address that your VPN service is sharing it with. So yeah, and here's a case. This is an official statement from the Department of Justice saying how they subpoenaed Pure VPN, which they were allegedly a no-log VPN service. Like they said they never kept logs, but really the FBI asked for logs and they gave them logs, so it kind of was a lie. And they looked at all the real IP addresses of a cyber stalker who was using this VPN to harass people. So potentially a lot of people could have been exposed to the FBI if they used the same IP address as the cyber stalker here. All right, so the VPN I set up, and the VPN that you're all invited to share in using after this workshop, does come with a few questions that you also ask yourself. Do you trust me, the VPN administrator? Like I'm going to tell you that we're going to shut off all the logs on this VPN, but you ask yourself, do you trust me that I'm not going to go back in and just turn them all on later? Or do you trust I'm not going to shut this VPN down for whatever reason, because I'm tired of paying for it or something? Do you trust the people in this room that you're sharing the IP address with? Do you think that anybody here is going to try and do something that they think makes them anonymous, but then gets them in trouble, and then gets you in trouble, and then gets law enforcement to get DigitalOcean to give up their logs and stuff? Which there will be no logs, because I'm deleting them. But anyway, yeah, if you all feel comfortable, we're gonna pass a sheet of paper around in a little bit, and we'll get you access to this VPN here. So yeah, let's start. So if you want to use this VPN that I'm setting up, you can also set up your own VPN at the same time when you follow along. But if you want to use your own VPN, please give us an email, just so that we can email you the configuration files. Make a username, like not your real name, but a cool name. And
My name is cool. No, I'm kidding. I wish Sarah's name is cool.
and there's a lot of people have the name Sarah, so it must be cool.
Yeah.
And tell us what devices you want to set this thing up on. Like you can set this VPN up on any device: Mac computers, iPhones, Windows, Android, Linux, on Linux machines. So just write down what devices you want to set this up on. Yeah. All right. So let's set this up. All right. So let's take a few minutes. Everybody that's interested in setting this up with us, if you're still with us and the whole DigitalOcean thing didn't scare you, raise your hand if you're still with it and you want to follow along. Cool. All right, so connect to the Wi-Fi. Let's go to, actually here, open up a couple things. Open up my tutorial guide at blog.jeffahking.com and click on the first link, which is setting up your own VPN, quick version. So like, after the workshop, this is a great resource for you. I have the quick version, which I'm just using here for the workshop, but there's a more detailed version also on the blog too, with more pictures and step-by-step stuff, and so feel free to use that. The link is going to be in the bottom here, or the next one. So open up that website, blog.jeffahking.com, and also open up like something to take notes, and open up your terminal.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
It's
ChemLab 305.
ChemLab. So
If we were to use AWS for hosting, can we just do it on hosting?
if you want to use, yeah, if you can, as long as you can SSH and SFTP into it, you can use whatever host you want, yeah. And we'll go over SSH and SFTP for people that don't know how to do that. So once you have the website open, and a notepad open, and your terminal open,
Does anyone need help with the terminal? If you haven't not used it before.
go to digitalocean.com, and let's take a few minutes. Let's sign up for an account. Just enter an email, credit card, and confirm it. if you need to take an extra minute to set up your two-factor auth, that's a good idea too. We'll wait. When you're all done, I'll check back in a few minutes.
If we want to use our own hosting, the one that we use for the website,
And also, yeah, if you have your own hosting,
that's okay.
totally do it. Yeah, as long as you can SSH and SFTP into it.
I have no idea what's that,
Oh, so which hosting is it then that you're using?
but is it just host?
Just Host? Never heard of them, so I don't know. But do they let you? What do you use it for? Do you have like a website or something like that? And we'll have to look up to see if they'll let you like SSH into it. Like,
I can open
sure. Do you mind if I come over? So yeah, everybody sign up for your DigitalOcean account. Do yourself here.
You can connect to FTP. The file CDT, yes. This is H2.
Sometimes I've seen this in
But there's capacity.
Just for this picture, I'm going to do DigitalOcean. You can always just take it after. I'm not sure if this is-
Is the stuff to download, that'll be available later as well, right?
The stuff to download?
Like the website that you're talking about on your blog and stuff
Oh,
like that?
yes.
It's like up there and it'll continue to be there.
Everything's
Yeah.
on the blog and you can
Yeah,
access all the resources and it's like a really great step-by-step guide that
Okay.
we've tested on multiple people.
Oh, good.
Yeah, multiple people.
Multiple people. And it's very clear with a lot of pictures. Is everyone ready? Does anyone still need time?
Just go ahead.
Yeah? Okay.
2 more minutes.
So you were gonna ask.
Just what you were saying about, so you were talking about third-party VPNs, and you were saying that one of the things that you're doing is sort of like, there's like an IP address, and then everybody's kind of collecting under an IP address, and you don't know what those other people are doing, right? But then is also an issue that, so what we're gonna do here also like you're basically sharing your IP address with yourself only. Is
Yeah, when you buy hosting,
Yeah.
you get your own dedicated IP address that only you are using.
But also like the IP address that's actually your local IP address. So there's one IP address under another IP address if you don't share it with anyone. And then, so this one you're not sharing with criminals who may be attracting attention. And this one, nobody else is seeing because you're the one who owns this one. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like there are
there's-
two IP addresses.
There's
Yeah.
like there's your real IP address.
Yeah.
So like like right now, without a VPN, this is my IP address right now, just from this room.
Where you are, yeah.
If I were to connect to a VPN, this is my algo right here. Then I'll connect to this is an IP address that is given to me by the hosting,
Yeah.
which only I'm using. That no, I'm not sharing with thousands of other people.
Right.
So now it's 178 something.
And it's London, city, London, region, England, country. Okay.
Does it matter what country you choose for the droplet?
Oh, yes. Oh, hold up. We'll get in there. Just a second. But how are you doing over there?
Just created the account.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody has an account. All the terminals open, a notepad, and blog.jeffahking.com. Okay.
Shameless publicity.
I know.
Shameless.
How many times have I said that? Like 3 or 4 times. Okay. And yeah, we have mostly Mac users, one Windows person, but you have your PuTTY client.
Yeah. I think so.
Cool.
Did anyone sign up on the sheet of paper that we passed around? Are there any names? But if you want, yeah, you can just write down a username, email address, and then device types.
Yeah. It's okay to have
On the
more than one
sheet.
VPN. So if you want to use this demo VPN as well as your own, that's cool too. Or if you don't want to use the demo at all, totally understand.
What's up?
Does using a VPN slow down just your use of the internet at all?
Very, 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 very slightly. Like, I don't think it's noticeable.
It's noticeable only if you're on a really, really, really shitty internet connection. Like if your Wi-Fi is already really bad and really slow and then you use a VPN, you're gonna feel it. Otherwise, you don't notice it at all.
So you could use a VPN with Tor, and it would be speed-wise like the same as just using Tor.
I think so. Yeah. Tor is it's not as slow as Tor at all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very different.
All right, so we're following along. So everybody here, let's go to our droplets page. So droplets, that's just the DigitalOcean term for servers, or your AWS server page. And let's spin one up. So click create a droplet, or create droplet. On this page, this is just we're gonna configure it a little bit. We need to choose an Ubuntu 16.04 droplet. So choose this one right here. Make sure it's the 64-bit one too. Choose the cheapest one. And for AWS, yeah, cheapest one. VPNs, they really don't need a lot of memory or RAM or anything at all. It's cheaper the better for you. Awesome.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah. We're trying to find the cheap option.
Is the Ubuntu the same as the Red Hat Linux?
So I just
It's,
the
it's
verification.
Different operating system, and Algo is only created to work with Ubuntu, unfortunately. So, in terms of countries, unless you're trying to circumvent some sort of location restriction, then the country really doesn't matter. But with DigitalOcean, you have a choice of 7 or 8 countries here. You can choose any one you want. So for the demo VPN, somebody shout out a country. Where do they want this VPN to be in? Any country.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
All right.
Not a fan.
And you can choose any number. I don't know why it's 2 or 3. I think these are just splitting up the regions, but.
Jeff, can we stop for a second?
Oh, sure. 1 second.
Because we paid through yeah, so they use PayPal to pay, but
Did you get an email?
yeah, I got also like the confirmation from PayPal and confirmation from too. So it doesn't just I don't know, does it have to be yeah, it goes to
That's weird. I've never seen this before. I'm not sure. Is it
when was
They do have
6 months ago?
That's actually.
Yeah, normally it doesn't work because it's an Austrian, so for these American websites.
It's really late, I'm sorry.
You know, it's okay. I mean, yeah, for example. And how can I do? Let's just forward it.
All right, so pick any country you want. We're gonna choose Amsterdam. Don't select any options here. You could choose, if you really want it, you can choose to have DigitalOcean monitor your server for you, which I don't think anybody wants. So don't do that. Pick a really cool name. Somebody give me a cool name for our server.
Radical VPN.
What did you say?
Very pretty nerds.
Radical, pretty nerds. All right. And let's see. Ubuntu 16.04, $5, Amsterdam. Radical, pretty nerds. And then create. And it'll instantly spin it up. And you should get an email. So check your email that you used to sign up. Just wait for that to come in. This email is going to have your server password. It's a temporary password. You're going to have to change it when you log in for the first time. It's going to have the IP address and your host name. All right. Is everybody here? Everybody raise your hand when you get the email. Make sure everyone's on the same page here. Yeah, that's like if law enforcement were to investigate what this IP address was doing, then they would talk to DigitalOcean, and DigitalOcean would just tell them that this IP address is owned by an account with this email address, and and his credit card and all this stuff. So yeah, so again, yeah, don't try and be anonymous with VPNs. Yeah. Is everybody here? Email? Yeah? Okay. Hi.
I just want to see if this
Okay, so with this email, let's go to your terminals. Let me see here. I actually might need to. Oh, here we are. Can everybody see my terminal? It's a little heart on the bottom. We're going to SSH into it. So you type in SSH.
What does it mean to SSH into?
And it's a good question, Sarah. SSH stands for Secure Shell Session, or something like that. Secure Shell. Essentially, what we're doing here is we're making a secure connection from our laptops to the host computer. So once we SSH into it, we can control the host computer remotely. So it's kind of like we're working on some other computer from our own computers.
What's the host computer?
And the host's computer is your DigitalOcean droplet they just made. SSH root at IP address. So when this comes up, just say yes.
The IP address is the one that you received in your email.
Yes. Don't copy my IP address. Copy the one that you have in your email.
Do you mind if we point the projector a little higher?
Yeah, I think I can try and manage that.
Get the
Is that any better?
That's much better, thank you.
Cool. All right. So you'll get a question that says, this So just click say yes. If it bounces you out, it says like public, like permission denied. Just keep trying because sometimes it takes a minute for DigitalOcean to allow access. So then it's going to ask for your passwords. So just go back to your email, copy this password in, paste it in. The email, the password won't show up, so just paste it in. Just know it's there. Press enter, and then you'll have to change your password. So this is why I leave a notepad. Enter the password, paste it in one more time, and then create a new password. Write it down. Don't forget it. Okay. Any questions right now?
So now you're in the droplet.
Correct. Yes. So now we're SSH'd into our remote computer. So I'm in New York City, but I'm also in Amsterdam right now in this computer. Kind of cool, right? All right.
Is everyone at this level? Does anyone need another minute to get here?
All right. No worries.
My public key still being denied.
Try it one more time. Sometimes it takes a second for DigitalOcean to do this thing. So, I'm using this guy. Step one.
Do you need a hand with? Yeah.
When I get to the point where I'm asking for re-entry the password to enter a new one, and I do, it just closes the window. Is that, I mean, it might be a Windows issue, but that's correct.
Let's see. That probably means that you put the wrong password in for the existing one. Try one more time. Make sure you're using the temporary password from the email. So for now, let's move on for now. It'll be really easy for you all to catch up. This next part. This next part is going to be all about installing some prerequisite software. So if you have the guide open, just copy and paste this line right here. What this line's doing is telling your server to install all the little bits of software that Algo needs to work. It's installing Git, which is a software that downloads source code from the internet. It's installing Ansible, which is a software that automates a lot of things that Algo needs. So copy and paste that from the blog, put it into your command line, and press enter. It just take a couple minutes to run. So everybody just get started on this, and we'll let this go for a minute.
So where did this come from? Like this chunk? This is like open. You didn't create this code, right?
This code, yeah, for the most part, this code came from Algo's, because Algo is open source also.
Okay.
This came from their website.
Okay.
It's in here somewhere. But yeah,
Okay.
Git, Ansible, Python. That's what we're downloading here.
I have a package configuration pop up.
Oh yeah, if you see is a big purple window?
Yeah.
If you see a big purple window, just press enter. Just press OK.
Great.
What would you like to do about menu first? Well, I've never seen this before. Install 2. There we go. How's everyone doing? Everybody, you're on the thing? I'll help you out over here.
It's not just doing that side. Yeah, look what that code says. It's like,
Let's just say go down there.
Is this a cat?
Yeah, that's a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's no ghosts.
I wonder if it's just making a bridge like that.
Does
Forward
your
it to here and see if this is like a
Amazon,
server.
does that require you to
Yeah.
submit a key? Yes. And is that publicly associated with this new drawing?
It's gonna be a highly derailing of this workshop. What else? I want to know what Alpha is doing.
So,
Their documentation is pretty decent. Yeah.
I'm
not really I think they'll learn about it. Yeah.
I had the original Cynic from Nemo.
Yep.
I was using it. I didn't even use it.
And a few other security programs.
Did everybody's software installed?
Did it work?
It might be a SSH key thing.
You said we didn't want to use the pink screen.
The pink, just press
Enter.
enter. Yeah.
This is I've been getting stuff from
Please browse it.
Stripped down.
That's a pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
All right. So, okay, there'll be another spot where we can catch up. We're gonna move on. Next part of the guide. So, run this command. This command here, we're gonna open up a config file, and we're gonna add yourself as a user into the VPN. So it'll open up this text editor called Nano, which is a really fun text editor. You can only use your arrow keys to move around with it. So when you open this up, scroll down here and enter your username. There's mine. There's a list of people. So, oh, perfect.
Is this something we're making up for the first time, or
What's that?
is this something we're making up here, or does it revert back to?
Yep, something completely unique.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna enter in everybody else. So, yeah. Alright, so. After you enter your username, scroll down a little bit until you find this line right here. This line says strong swan log level. We're gonna change this number 2 to a -1. And what this does is it turns off the logs for the VPN. So yeah, it was that easy. Kind of. Everybody good on this part? So to exit this, you press Control X, and then press yes or Y, and enter. That's how you get out of that and save it. Did everybody exit Nano successfully? It's troublesome sometimes. Okay, cool.
Does anyone need more time at this level?
Yeah. All right, so moving on to step 4. We're going to now run the install script for Algo. This install script is going to read the configuration file and set things up for you. So just copy and paste that in, and you'll get this question. So there's the more detailed guide that I have. If you want to go part 1, this has all the answers to the questions that we're about to be asked a bunch of questions. So pretty much. So if you want to, if you forget something, you can always refer back to part 1 of the guide. But I'll walk you through all the questions right here to set it up for you. So for the first question, is everybody good? Actually, raise your hand if you're good right here, right now. I know, we're still working on one thing right here, so, yeah. So for this question, enter 5, because we're going to be setting it up on an Ubuntu 16.0 server, 04 server from DigitalOcean. Okay,
So why are we not saying 1? If 1 says DigitalOcean, why do
so
we say 5?
we said 5 because, well, what these do, these automate the setup of the VPN for these 4 hosting providers. They automate it for DigitalOcean, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. But you can also set it up on any Ubuntu server that you want. You can set it up on your own private one. If you have maybe a Raspberry Pi or you have a private server, then you would choose 5 to set it up on anything. We didn't choose 1 because, frankly, I think it's better to learn how to set this up yourself a little bit, in case you don't want to use DigitalOcean one day. Like maybe you find access to your own hosting. So maybe you want to set it up on your own host one day instead of doing it through DigitalOcean. So 5 is just host agnostic. It doesn't matter what host you're using.
And didn't we like select that server when we set up the DigitalOcean, so we're like in there
Exactly.
already?
And we chose a 16.04 Ubuntu server. All right, so for the next question, just leave it blank. Just press enter. All right. This next question, what user should use the login? Again, enter. Just keep it blank. Okay. Now this question, we need to copy and paste. What's the public IP address of your server? Go back to your email and copy and paste this in. It's also here too. Copy this. All right. The next question, was this server deployed by Algo previously? Say no, because this is a new server for everybody, I think. Okay, so next, here's some really fun configuration things. If you're using a Mac or an iPhone, you can have the VPN automatically connect to it instantly. It's called VPN on demand, but actually, believe it or not, I choose no for this because I like to be able to control manually when I turn my VPN on. Like, Sarah brought up a good point the other day. Like, if you're Googling something and you want something like a location-based thing, like where's the sushi in the neighborhood? I don't want my sushi restaurants to be all in Amsterdam all the time. So, if you want to always have your VPN on automatically, you can click yes, but I prefer to say no. And also, whatever you choose, you can always turn this on. You can flip this back on or off through settings in your Mac.
Especially if you're on a slow internet connection, like you brought up earlier. Sometimes you want to turn off the VPN if you just need to access like a website real quick. And the internet connection is already slow, and the VPN is slowing it down even more, so you just want to shut it off to just get to whatever you need to get to. So it's better to be able to connect, to do it manually, choose to connect or not.
Yeah, it's our recommendation, but again, up to you. So the last question was for automatically connecting cellular networks. This next question is about automatically connecting on Wi-Fi. So again, up to you. I choose no. The next question asks, do you want a DNS resolver? So this will block like most banner ads and things from popping up for you. But keeping in mind, it does not block tracking. It just blocks the ads that you see. But it's kind of cool. So up to you, yes or no. Do you want each user to have their own account for SSH tunneling? I say no. Like, especially if you're the only user, if you're the only person on your own VPN, you don't need any more SSH accounts. All right, this one's very important. Do you want to apply operating system security enhancements? You might want to say yes, but I'll tell you why you want to say no right now. You want to say no because unless you set up your droplet with an SSH key, like a public-private key for logging in, which we did not do. We blew right through it and used a password. Unless you did one specific step. If you say yes, it'll lock you out right now. So don't say yes here, even though it might seem really appealing. Just say no. These are just security enhancements for the DigitalOcean server. Like, make sure, like, if someone tries to hack into it, it just makes it a little harder for them. But if we can go over, like there's a resource in the more detailed guide for setting up an SSH key if you want to include this, so but I'm saying no. So for the demo VPN, no. Just peace of mind things, like maybe this isn't the most, maybe someone can hack into it one day, I don't know, but then again, people can hack anywhere, so whatever. Next question. Do you want the VPN to support Windows 10? Also, if they hack into it, there's no logs. We're turning off the logs. That's great. But I guess they can turn on the logs. If they want. So, okay. Next question. If you're a Windows person or a Linux person, say yes. So I'm going to say yes right here because the demo VPN has a Linux user on it. If you're just Mac, though, just say no. Do you want to retain the CA key? This is only for if you want to add more users to your VPN later on. So if this is your own personal VPN and you don't want to add anybody else to it, then just say no. And I'm going to say yes because the demo VPN maybe will add more people. Actually, no. I'm going to say no because I'm not going to add more people to VPN. If that's cool with everybody that wants to use this demo VPN, we're not going to add anybody else to it. So no.
If we want to like add our friends to this later, we should say yes.
But if you want to add your friends to it, yeah, you can say yes.
Also, you can make so many of these. Like you can like kill this one and make another one. So you can say this and or no, so they're really easy to set up.
Yeah. So what's Sarah saying right now?
In 1 hour, Jeff and I set up like 5 or 6.
This is if you ever change your mind on any of these questions, this is so fast to set up. Like you can destroy your droplet, destroy your server, and just create a new one in less than 15 minutes. So now that you've done it once, you can sort of see all the steps involved. You just repeat it and change your mind all you want. Make a new VPN all you want. Because that's what's cool about Algo. And then we're just running this.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yeah, Sarah.
Why is it named Algo?
Oh, wow. Fun fact. It's called Algo. According to the creators, it's called Algo because it stands for Al Gore, or the Vice President of Networks. Yeah? The Vice President of Networks. Get it? Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Is everybody...
The invented the internet, right?
And the inventor of the internet.
Yeah.
So this takes about 2-3 minutes to go. So we're chilling.
How are you doing? Did you manage to?
No,
Yeah.
I stopped it, but it's fine. I'll absorb now and figure it out.
And with the guides, the resources, anything for after workshop, check it out. So everybody that is doing this, are you all on this part where it's installing your VPN right now? And you have a bunch of, it should be moving. Everybody good?
Is that true about Algo?
Yeah, it's actually on their website.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called
wow.
it's after Algo.
I thought that was a bad joke that y'all just
Oh
made
no
up
no
right
no!
now.
It's actually
Wow.
it's like actually Algo.
Short for Al Gore.
See that?
Yeah, about open source. It's the jokes.
There is, okay, so alternatives to Algo, like for the most part, I wouldn't recommend them because they're harder to set up, but Algo is actually using a VPN called Strong Swan, and they're automating the whole setup of it. But so if you want, you could set up one called Strong Swan. There's OpenVPN, which the creators of Algo, they're actually arguing a lot that Algo is more secure than OpenVPN. So take that, as you will. OpenVPN, Strong Swan. That's all I can remember right now. But yeah. So what VPN providers do people here use if you are currently using a VPN provider?
I use NYU's VPN.
Which one?
NYU has a VPN.
NYU has their own VPN?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little different also because NYU allows you to connect to their network, like to access certain documents and certain books and files and all of that. So a lot of schools, most schools actually have their own VPN connection. So like if you are, say, in London or somewhere and you want to get access to some library content and you're not on the school network, you like use a VPN to connect to the IP address of the school so that you can then get access to those library content or books and services and things
So
like
they've
that.
limited which IP addresses have access to stuff internal to their.
Yeah, like you can only access it through your school email. So like once you're not a student there anymore, you can't access the NYU VPN anymore.
Cool.
A lot of companies do that also. If you're like working remotely and you need to access like whatever content is on their servers, you can use the company VPN to get into whatever internal documents you need to get to, which is a little different than this.
So when it's done, this will pop up. Congratulations, your algo server is running. The most important thing here, we cannot miss this step. You need to save this password somewhere. You said, uh-oh.
My computer died while I was installing, so I think I'll never be able to get this.
Oh,
It's fine.
do you want to plug it in? We have plenty of plugs right here.
Oh, but what if they kill the session again?
Kill this. I mean, if it died, yeah, probably would. You'll have to start over again.
But it's fine.
From the whatever stuff. Okay. So yeah, okay. Who's still installing right now? Still okay. We'll wait a few minutes, but let me know when it's done. Give me a snap like that. But for those of you that are on the screen, take your password right here and write it down on a notepad so you don't forget it.
And if we set up the option to share or add a feature, we should have a second line, is that right?
And yes, if you did that, if you wanted the CA certificate to be visible, save that too. Like if you chose to say yes for adding people in the future, the second line should be there. So write that down. And what this did, let's read it real quick. It generated a whole bunch of configuration files. These are files that are, for the most part, it's like a one-click setup for the VPN on your device. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of this shell, and we're gonna go back to our lab. We're gonna come back to New York on our computers, and we're gonna SFTP back into this server, which stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. It's just another way of connecting to Amsterdam, but this time we can grab files. So we're going to SFTP in, and we're going to grab all of these config files, and it's from there it's just like a one-click install, and you'll have a VPN. So we're almost there. If you're a Mac, disclaimer. If you're Windows, there's a little bit of extra setup involved, but that's okay. We'll walk through it. If you're Linux, actually I don't have access to my own Linux, so I've not done this myself. But there's a guide on Algo that we can go through for setting this up on Linux, if you're using Linux. How you doing?
Oh, it's done.
You all good? Okay, so copy down your password. Copy down your your P12 password, and then your CA password if you have the CA password. And all right. From here, go back down here and type in the word exit. Exit out. And going back to the guide, I'm just going to instruct all of you to create a directory somewhere, anywhere. Actually. Yes, I forgot the one thing. One more thing. Real quick. SSH back into it. So we shut off the VPN logs, but there's one more set of logs I want to shut off too. They're the server logs. So Ubuntu logs has Ubuntu automatically logs who connects to the server. So every time we SSH into it, or every time somebody connects to the VPN, they might make a log of what IP address connected to it. So if you want to shut that off, this is just to be double sure. There's no logging. Copy and paste. Step 6: turn off server logging and delete the logs. So we're going to stop the server logs and remove the system log things. Okay. So when you're all done with that, exit for real, get out of the server, and go back to your local environment. And head on over to step 7. Just make a directory anywhere on your computer, as long as you remember where it is. So this command, make dir configs, cd into configs, and then run this command here, sftp root at the server IP address. Enter in your password. Okay. Now we need to change our directory. So go to cd algo /configs / the IP address. And this should, let's see, here we are. We're inside of the directory. Everybody good here?
No, mine said node name nor server name provided or not known, connection closed.
When you first, for the SFTP?
Yeah.
And once you're in here, just run this cool command here, get star, and this will just grab all the files, all our config files, and I'll drop them into our laptops.
Oh, I see.
Directory.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Changing
You can see it in your terminal.
and then I just got it.
All right.
Thank you.
So once you've grabbed them all, just exit out. Now we're back to our local laptop, and we have all our files. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to just set up a couple emails, email this to some people here, and then we'll get into how to set this up in just a minute on your laptop. What time are we doing on time, by the way? Oh, we're over. Okay, let's get into it now, before I send out the emails. Are you good on, did you get all your files?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So open up like a Finder. If you're on a Mac, open up Finder, and just go to, let's see, I don't even remember where I had it. Configs. Go to your configs directory, the one that you made here, and find your mobile config file. So this is mine, starcast.mobileconfig. Find this file and just double click on it. This screen will pop up. Continue, and enter the P12 password you wrote down, which I have right here. Enter your password, and that's it. For the most part, it should appear if you're on a Mac computer, it should appear right here up top. I think it's this one, 188. If you don't have this little icon up top, you can go into Settings, close this, and then go into Settings. And where is it? Got too many screens going on right now. Okay, go into Settings, go to Network, and find your VPN. Mine was this one, 188. You just click on this little checkbox down here to show it in the menu bar. So once you have it, did everybody get this? Everybody connected? On all the Mac people?
So can you have multiple VPNs with Algo? So you have 2 right now.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. You can totally have 2 VPNs from 2 IP addresses. So this is my London one, and this is my Amsterdam one. You can't connect the 2 at the same time, but you can choose which one you want. So connect to it just as easy as clicking on that. And let's go to Google Maps. Let's see, where do they think I am? Oh, incognito tab, yeah. Well, at least we can go to this. Okay, so it worked. What's my IP.com? Yeah. Yeah, there we are. The Academy, something, no sure.
Very short. You have a VPN, you have a VPN, you have a VPN. Everyone has a VPN.
Okay.
Can you, there's this paragraph that says your outgoing traffic from the server is still visible and logged by whichever ISP. Can you, okay, that's just this ISP.
Oh yeah, sure.
ChemLab.
Where is that? Is that in the detailed guide thing? Oh well, yeah. I guess it's just another reminder that you're not anonymous when you're using a VPN. Like if you, like just because we turned off the logs, we turned off some internal logs on our droplet, but you should be aware that there are logs that we can't turn off that exist like on the websites we visit. Like the website, like Google keeps a log of everything that you do in Google. Facebook keeps a log of all the things you do on Facebook. The internet service provider that DigitalOcean uses, they keep a log of everything that comes out of DigitalOcean, including our traffic, and we can't turn off those logs. We can only turn off the internal logs in our server. So if somebody were to hack into our server, or if law enforcement wanted to look into our server, there would be no logs, but there's still there's still logs that we can't turn off everywhere else. So yeah, so logs, no log VPNs, to me it's not really a big sell for choosing VPN. You use a VPN to be secure in a public Wi-Fi network, to hide your traffic from your personal ISP, and to spoof your location, but not to be anonymous or anything like that. Okay, so who has an iPhone? So if you want to set this up on your iPhone, it's the same thing. You email this to your iPhone. This is all detailed in the guide, and by this I mean your what do you call it? Your mobile config file. You email this mobile config file to your phone, to yourself, and you open it up in the Mail app, which is like not the Gmail app if you're in Gmail, but like the iPhone Mail app. You open it up there, just double tap it, and it'll automatically configure on your iPhone just as fast.
How do you remove it once you've done that?
How do you remove it once you've done that? Good question. I think you go to Settings, Wi-Fi, and then VPN, and then you can choose to remove it or add it from there. So this is the this is the end of the workshop. I'm gonna stick around like through lunch for anybody that wants to get extra help on this, setting this up, and configuring it on their devices. If you got Windows, I'll help you set it up in a Windows machine. But resources, let's see here. Just want to remind everybody that we have some.
Yeah, the guides are really, really good.
Yeah, just go to blog.jeffahking.com and then click. There's a real detailed guide called "Setting Up Your Own VPN with Algo," Part 1. And then there's Part 2, which is about configuring all your devices. And there's a super quick version that you use. So, lots of guides. This is the open source code. And this is us. You can reach out to us for questions at any time at our Twitters. So, yeah. Any questions? Go ahead.
And what's the direction when you download the config, how you get it into your VPN?
Oh, the SFTP part? You lost on during the SFTP?
Probably I set up a VPN by adding IP and other notification, but completely different, and then it's just
Like, oh, so you have your mobile config file. Is that what you're saying? Just double click on it.
don't know how to get it in the Mac.
To your what?
How to get it in the Mac config.
Oh, yes, okay. I'll come around after. Just make sure we're all done here. All right, we're done. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. If you have any questions, we'll talk right after.